And well, talking about laying it on the line and all that stuff, we've talked about SummerSlam. We've talked about Ric Flair's last match. We're going to see some fucking hands getting thrown on Saturday night too, man. When this card is supposed to start off with Anthony Smith versus Magomed Ankalaev, we're going to be in for a banger. You know what? I've been saying this on the show. You know, the last couple times I've bet on the fights, I'm trying to do like a couple 3-leg parlays, dude. This guy is definitely going to be in one of them. You know, I'm gonna go Anthony Smith on this one, dude.
I'm glad to hear it because, man, I'd have had to throw some harsh words at you because he's one of my favorite fucking fighters, and it's really hard. You see all the motivation that he has been spewing all this week, talking about everything with Ankalaev and stuff. You ain't been in a real fight. You've been in 16 contests, but you ain't been in no fights, you know, or whatever the line he spit was. You know, I feel like that's where we see the best version of Anthony Smith in his fights. That's actually, honestly, with all the title implications and the fights this weekend, I feel like that's my most anticipated fight is the Anthony Smith versus Ankalaev. I feel like Ankalaev does bring serious, you know, potential issues, but I feel like Anthony Smith's striking game is on par or at least very relatively close, but I feel like his ground game is just so far superior that if we do see it make its way to the ground, I feel like we're going to see Anthony Smith with a sub come round 3 or something like that. That's kind of where I'm feeling.
Narrowing it down. We got to put that one on DraftKings, man. You really narrowed it down there.
Like I said, man, that's what I'm doing. Me a couple little small parlays, but boy, between Juliana, Pena, Anthony Smith, and then you got, you know, the Moreno fighting that. Like I said, I'm gonna have a couple little parlays going, but boy, if I get one with all these odds, because like I said, I'm looking at it right now. If what they say, and this is off UFC.com, they're doing theirs off what DraftKings says. Right now, they got Anthony Smith at a plus 380. Ankalaev's at a minus 475. Derrick Lewis is, I mean, theirs is basically a pick 'em, but they've got him as the underdog.
Hey, Derrick Lewis is my man.
Hey, man, his balls are hot. But
my balls.
And then
balls hot.
And then the champ is plus 230.
That the lines on this card, Vegas usually has some type of eye for knowing how to, you know, pick these fights and stuff. But I feel like, and I forget who had directly mentioned it, but I feel like it really is the case. I wish I could give them credit, but with these international overseas fighters and stuff like that, they get so much more support, you know, through the betting lines and stuff like that because they're just worldwide, where a lot of these American fighters, they have, you know, down home fans and, you know, people that'll root for them across the country and stuff. But more often than not, when they're taking on these people from other countries and stuff, they have whole, you know, nations that stand behind these guys. So I feel like that may skew these betting lines a lot because there's no way that, in honest terms, that at least in my opinion, I may be biased here, but that Anthony Smith is nearly a plus 400 in this fight. That's wild.
Like I said, those are odds I'm willing to play with when we're talking about what Anthony Smith is capable of doing. So,
yeah, I mean, don't forget. I mean, he put on a fairly decent fight in what did not look like his night against John Jones. He almost got the former champ Glover Teixeira out of there in the first round, put on a good second until he just gassed himself hard. So his most recent losses have been to title holders, and everybody else he's gone in there and made the fights look, you know, definitely more one-sided. So I'm just genuinely surprised. Plus 400s that's a real chance to make some money. You know?
Yeah. So are you taking Anthony Smith?
Oh yeah, I had already mentioned round 3 sub. That's where.
All right. J-Bone, who you got?
I'm taking Corey's advice, man. He knows what he's talking about. I'm taking Anthony Smith by sub.
I'm with it.
Hey man, like I said, I got no disrespect for Ankalaev, but man, I kind of rock with Lionheart, and at them kind of odds, like I said, I'm willing to throw a little bit of money at that.
Although I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to say second round submission.
Ooh, I like it.
He said he going to do it quicker. The next fight has the. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just going to jump into that next fight. So go ahead. You do better.
I was going to say, the next fight's got the makings for fireworks. You got Alexandre Pantoja versus Alex Perez. This one's basically a pick'em.
This one to jump in. This one's a hardcore as the light right here, right? Like 125 division. So clearly these guys aren't huge or nothing like that. But both of these guys are finishers for the division, man. Perez, he looked really great until he really didn't look great against Davis and Figueiredo. Every other fight, man, he's really looked, top notch. Went in there against the champ and just got smoked. So, and then Pantoja, man, he brings so many different elements to his game. He's a really solid striker, but I feel like where he shines the best is in his jiu-jitsu game once he's able to get people down. Here's the thing, though. I feel like Perez is a better wrestler out of the two, so I feel like it's going to be, unless he gets hit on the feet, I feel like Perez is going to be able to resist the takedown, stay on the feet, and outstrike him. So that's where I'm leaning in this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if Pantoja is able to pull off some submission, because he's just super slick, man, for the weight class, and he's just quick at setting everything up.
All right, J-Bone, who you got?
Hey, man, it's a pick 'em for me, so that's what I'm going to do. Perez. Taking Perez by decision.
I'm pissed that I'm picking Perez as well by decision right after you did a fucking coin toss. But hey, I made my mind up like 30 seconds ago, brother, so I got to stick with it.
Hey, man, I'm with Perez, too. We're all going Perez on this one. If you guys are watching UFC 277, let me know who you guys got in these picks. Even if you are watching this in the post, make sure you let us know at KO3C Pod if you're listening on a podcast platform, all that stuff. Wherever you're listening, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right. Man, I know we've been going for a minute, so it's getting a little hot in here, but, man, his balls are hot. Derrick Lewis versus Sergey Pavlovich.
Before we break into this fight, can I just note real quick, if you guys haven't seen the DC does these interviews basically at every pay-per-view where he gets one-to-one interviews for like 20 minutes with these, fighters that he's relatively close with. Go watch that one, because for everybody that forgot, these guys had a title fight against each other. It's Derrick Lewis's only title fight, so there was not tension, but it was like mutual respect, but at the same time, like, DC, I got one over you type of like feel. And they had brought up Ronda Rousey and how DC had just seen her, and the first thing Derrick Lewis is fast as a cat comes out and says, "Did she ask about me?" Immediately. So I just had to note that real quick, because confidence is coming high into this weekend, man. I feel like
they look like they want to fight. Did you see them getting like into it at the weigh-in?
Boy. Yeah, and I feel like that's the one thing with Derrick Lewis is he only loses when his confidence is low, because he's a true one-touch artist when he literally needs one hit. And the only time you see him struggle is when it's more mental struggles than it is anything. Like, he'll go through a couple tough rounds, but if he's still there mentally, he'll end the fight late round 5. It doesn't matter. So
yeah,
I feel like he's going to be able to get it done, but Sergey Pavlovich, or however you say his name, I think that's it, but he's definitely one of the rising up and coming heavyweight contenders. He fits the mold completely. If I'm not mistaken, he came over from Glory Kickboxing too, so he's got a kickboxing background. So it's going to be a tougher fight. I imagine most of it will be on the feet, but, man, Derrick Lewis is beating his chest on the ground at the end of this fight, man. I feel like the knockout's coming.
Yeah,
I'm also going. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You're straight.
Okay. I'm also going Derrick Lewis, first round knockout. And big respect to anybody whose initials are D. Lewis. Maybe inside baseball there for some people, but D. Lewis, my man's has got this in the first round.
I'm with Bill, man. First round. Derrick Lewis picking him out, dude.
Our balls are hot.
He's going to send it home quick. Let's go, man.
You know, and you guys might not be wrong with that first round thing, too, because these boys, I have a feeling with all the heat that
it ain't going to the decision. I doubt it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a swinger.
Speaking of swinging, all right, the next fight we've got on here, these two are this is going to be underrated, dude. This is going to be a fucking banger. Brandon Moreno versus the featherweight flyweight. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the flyweight interim championship against Kai Kara-France. I've been a big fan of Kai Kara-France for a while, and how can you not be a fan of Brandon Moreno? I feel like these two are going to meet in the center of the octagon and just beat the shit out of each other until somebody falls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they had both kind of made a ton of references to their past fight, but I feel like it's so far in the past that, you know, like they're both
like 2019 or something, or 2018 or something like that.
I think it was it was like 18 or something. But when you're talking, you know, 4-year difference and how young both of them are, you make huge leaps and bounds. I mean, they're both just now reaching 30, so you're talking 26, 25 compared to 30 years old. That's a lot of development time, especially if your sole focus is MMA. But that being said, they both brought up the fight plenty of times. For those of you that don't know, Moreno already won a decision victory against Kai Kara-France in the past. I think it's going to be such a different version of the same fight, if that makes any sense. I feel like both are going to be significantly more skilled, bring more to the table, but I feel like Brandon Moreno still just has that little bit. You know how Barstool Sports keeps putting out that X-ray with a dog in the chest? I feel like he's just got a little bit more of that dog in him. You know?
I think I'm going to go this fight too. Go ahead.
Nope, I'm not cutting you off twice in a row. Nope, not doing it, brother.
Gotta love them Zoom boxes. But no, I'm so excited for this fight because, like I said, I am a big fan of Kai Kara-France, but dude, I can't get over what you just said. I feel like that's what it boils down to. And that being said, Kai Kara-France with the team that he's coming from with Volkanovski and all them guys, I mean, they got a room full of dogs over there.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Israel Adesanya. You're talking about Volkanovski. You got Dan Hooker. You got a whole gang of motherfuckers down there that are all ready to scrap. So I'm not saying this in any way to take anything away from Kai Kara-France, but dude, I feel like Brandon Moreno feels like he's got something to prove, especially after the way that last fight went with Figueiredo. And damn it, I want to see him run that shit back. So I feel like we're going to have a banger unless somebody gets put out early, but I'm going with Brandon Moreno.
Wow. Okay. Well, and what will be the fight of the night? I'm taking Kai Kara-France, man.
Ooh.
By decision. It's going to be a banger of a fight, too.
Okay.
He's going to pull it out.
Well, I pointed the wrong way. I'm trying to.
It's hard, isn't it? It's reversed.
I'm still struggling. I'm going with this guy. I'm going with this guy
somewhere.
I feel like the only thing that may be able to pull the difference with Kai Kara-France in this fight is we've seen a significant evolution in his power in his last couple fights. He's been able to get some real significant knockdowns where it matters. You know, like he's more comfortable in the fire than he's ever been, I guess you could say. And also, I didn't get to note it on the Anthony Smith thing, but I do feel like it is a significant thing when you change camps going into a new fight. You know, we're seeing that with Derrick Lewis this weekend. We're seeing it with Anthony Smith. We're also seeing it with Brandon Moreno fighting out of James Krause's gym now. So I'm curious to see, does that improve the game? Does he try to change too much to fit the new mold that he's trying to do? Or, you know, I feel like that stuff always makes a difference, you know, and especially for, I forgot to mention it then, but for the Derrick Lewis situation, for somebody like him who's had mental struggles and stuff like that in the past, I feel like that could be a huge gap, is somebody in your corner who's a fresh voice that can be like, hey, dude, we've put this fucking work in. There's no doubt in yourself at this point. You know what you did. So, you know, same thing with this title fight, way bigger implications and stuff like that. But I'm very curious to see how that affects Moreno's game plan and stuff.
It's interesting. It's Krause too, with Krause being Krause is based out of like Washington, isn't he?
No, Kansas City, I think.
Oh no, that's what it was. That's what's his name? The guy that's got why am I drawing a blank now? Misha Tate and them were training out of that guy's spot up there in Washington. And Mighty Mouse too, I believe.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh man, it's gonna drive me nuts. But I know who I'm talking about. If you guys are MMA aficionados, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I've said that, and people don't talk about it. But the change in camps, I think the most notable one where we're gonna see if it really matters is with Amanda Nunes. But who do you got in this one, Bill? You got Moreno, or you got?
Completely forgot to mention that one as well.
I'm going Kai. I'm going the same as J Bone there.
Okay, all right. Well, we're at the main event, man.
We're gonna win some money.
Hey, man, I need to win some money too. I won a couple weeks ago, but that London card I don't think worked out for anybody's parlays but Drake. And when you're betting a couple $1 million, I mean, it's easy to get a good return. Son of a bitch. Hey, dude, he made like $3.5 million off of Patty and Molly winning last week. So you know what? I can't even be mad at it. I just wish it was in my account.
Money.
I wish it was in my account. But you know what is going to be a banger is Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Now, I don't think anybody in America, except for, you know, the ones who were taking them long shot bets, really thought that Pena was going to win going into that last fight, especially with Amanda Nunes. I mean, with that being said and how it went down, and like we were talking about when we were on Xbox, you know, some of the things that stuck out to me with Amanda going into it is I've always said that it's never a good sign when you hear a fighter start saying, like, making a whole bunch of excuses about injuries or going in with injuries and then when you have the camp change. Now, in Amanda's case, you know, we talked about how Bill is over there dealing with COVID. You know, she was still, from what she said, having some lingering effects from COVID, which I'm not arguing that could totally be true. And especially in a fight scenario, I mean, totally different. I mean, I had, you know, issues with my stomach 2 days before a jiu-jitsu tournament before. And it's like, you know, that'll make it hard for you to do anything, even if you're in a good shape, not to mention what we all know COVID's been doing. So if that is, you know, if she had the long-lasting effects from it, I'm not saying she didn't. But to me, what's the telltale sign to me is she left American Top Team and now is at a gym where it's basically all centered around her. We're going to see if, you know, the more singular approach towards the training camp is really going to help her. Or is Juliana Pena going to be able to rewrite history and beat Amanda Nunes twice? Bill, who you got in this one, bro?
You know what? Gut feeling. You bring up a lot of good points. I think Pena is going to keep it. I really do.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably in the minority there, and that's okay because scared money.
It's a very good chance. You're not lying, dude. And there's a very good chance she could, because I mean, I don't think anybody expected her to get in her shit like that. But then you got to remember the mental edge too. So, Corey, who you got?
This one is yet again such an interesting dynamic, right? Like I had noted, you know, me and you had a couple conversations, Kyle, throughout the week about it and stuff. Like, what's the mental game for Amanda Nunes? Like you had noted, you know, just a couple minutes ago, the excuse making and stuff like that is not usually a great sign. But what is also a great sign is she's coming into this fight looking like she's in better shape than she's been in the last 10 fights. You know, she looks like she's definitely taking her camp and stuff serious. She looks like she's coming in ready to go. So in that regard, I'm like, she's taking it serious. But at the same time, yeah, she's making excuses and stuff like that. Going back to the Derrick Lewis thing again, I feel like at least 50% of fighting is mental game. You know, you got to be there physically and stuff, but it's really how do you perform on the night given the circumstances and stuff like that. And is she going to be able to overcome losing her title? I mean, she's been such a dominant champ for so long. She's never really even had any serious contention. You know, it was the Valentina thing, but at 135 and 145. Still holding a belt. It feels weird. You know, you're still the champ, but you're coming off a loss and stuff like that. And now your immediate rematch is to the person that you lost to, somebody that fairly beat you in dominant fashion because you got gassed and then gave up your back and the tap was immediate. Like there was no resistance. She didn't fight hands or nothing. It was just, I give up, I don't know, man. I feel like this fight is way more of a pick'em than the odds state with the, Juliana Pena, current champion, plus 230 or whatever you said she was. But I feel like Amanda Nunes has the better skills, the tougher punches, and if she definitely did take her cardio and training camp serious, I feel like she will probably get the victory. That being said, if I'm picking with the whole barstool dog in the chest again, man, Juliana Pena's got that dog in her, no joke. Like that's the reason why she was able to pull off that victory in the first one. I feel like if I was putting money on it, I would put money her way because of the odds being the way they are. But skill for skill wise, I think Nunes is going to be able to get this one done.
Well, I don't need a coin for this one, fellas. I'm taking Nunes for this one. Lightning ain't striking twice, man. I think she's gonna come out there and she's gonna beat her up. I think. I hope. If we see, I want to see the old Amanda Nunes, like the Lioness, man. She was an insanely accurate striker before that last fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, look what she did to Cyborg. I mean,
yes,
she lit her up in a minute. Fight was done in a minute.
So I'm hoping she comes out fast and gets her quick, man. Finish her quick, dominant fashion, regain your crown, and move on.
Well, dude, okay, so that's a question too, though. So if Pena does lose, should she get an immediate rematch too?
No, completely different circumstances. That was your first defense. That was her seventh defense.
Sure, but she also got finished.
And here's the answer. Here's the answer to your question: is if what you're saying happens, it depends on the pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, that could definitely factor into
how
it.
the fight
I hate to be that way, but it's a business, brother.
Well, and also realistically, there's some decent contenders at 35, but there's no like huge standout at the moment. So maybe they would run it back again for a third time. Be like, hey,
I mean, there ain't nothing for her at 45.
Right.
Yeah, 45 is just hey, we got our double champ in Amanda Nunes, who's now a single champ. But 35, there is contenders and there is definitely action in the division and stuff, but I don't feel like there's a clear number one, so I could see them maybe running it for a third time.
I don't know, man. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to watch. All I know is I'm looking forward to tomorrow getting here. Now you've heard our picks. I'm going to be throwing some parlays down on DraftKings. So if, yeah, man, like I said, if you're letting us in on the bets and you're doing the bets, let us know what you're thinking and which ways you're rolling. Priest, I know you're always on the DraftKings, so you'll have to let me know where you're rolling. But Mr. Martel, I had a damn good time having you back on the show. Hopefully you get better on the mend with being sick and all that good shit. If there's anything else you want to throw out before we get out of here, bro, the floor is yours.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it. I know I reached out to you, yesterday, last minute. I missed my show last night, but this gives me an outlet to, sit and talk with the boys about wrestling, fighting. I really appreciate it. You guys all helped me a lot tonight because, this COVID shit, it's not the worst thing in the world yet. I hope it doesn't turn into be, but, it's definitely been a kick in the nuts. But, yeah, I appreciate it. Studio 86 on Facebook. Bill Martel 86 on Instagram. Like I said, we're going to be trying to get to AWE out in Jackson. Don't know 100% because of schedule. BCWA, August 20th, Northwest Championship Wrestling, August 25th. And hey, man, hopefully our calendar gets filled up more than that. We're out there. We're open for business. We're just trying to entertain everybody. And I'm having a great time, man. I'm with my best friends, Matthew Priest, Nick Braxton, Maserati Rick, Big Daddy Gaddy. Studio 86 is a party. It's fun. So just like this, man, I had a blast talking with you guys. I really did. I appreciate everything.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. We'll have to get back out to BCWA soon, dude. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out, dude, but it's going to be gnarly, dude. We're going to have to see. J-Bone, Corey, any last words before we get out of here?
Hey, man, just speedy recovery, man, for you, Bill. Hopefully you get through this COVID shit as fast as you can, man. So Good luck.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, hopefully, like you say, nothing comes of it. Like I had noted before the show, I had just dealt with a couple headaches. Hopefully, that's it's nothing too major on that. And
thanks, brother. I appreciate it, guys.
Rolling into the weekend, very excited for the pay-per-view. Final note. Just let's go Anthony Smith, man. That's where my heart's at right now.
He's looking for the lion heart. Well, before I get out of here, I'd be remiss if I didn't say so. Now I remember what I was going to say. We were saying that Superstar Bill Martel and Studio 86 need to be on some more cards. Well, speaking on more cards, we were told by our friends over at Circle 6 this morning that all of you who were at the show in Detroit, check your email because you'll have first run on them Circle 6 tickets when they come back to town. I don't know about you, J-Bone. I am going to be in the building for that most likely. Have to stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't know who might be in those Zoom boxes. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Studio 86 over there soon. And until the next time, and in the in-between time, protect your chin. Peace.
Bye.